impacted by the shutdown, give them a call. They're trying to help you out. Don't let this shutdown ruin your credit. Don't let the shutdown ruin your credit. Do all you can. Answer the phone for every creditor that calls you. If you got a little money here and there, make sure you pay the people to keep the lights on. Make sure you keep your cell phone on or a home phone on so they can call you back to work. And absolutely make sure that if you've got things on your credit report that need to be paid, that you make those payments. Call your creditors. Call them. They'll be calling you if you don't make that payment. So you might as well call your creditors and let them know what's going on. You may have options. Chase Bank, I know that they talking about doing this, but your bank may be doing that. Your credit union may be doing something to help you out as well. So give them a call. It might not be as well advertised. So give them a call and talk to them and see what your options are. Don't go doing something that's totally desperate at this point. So that doesn't mean you have to refinance your home so you can just skip a month and a half of payments or what have you. That doesn't mean you have to do that. Ask them about just paying an interest payment if you got some money on there. So ask them about just making an interest payment for 1 month. Maybe they'll help you out that way, even if it's not in your contract. Just because of this shutdown that's going on, maybe that's something they'll do for you. You can do that potentially with your mortgage. You can do it with your car note. You can do it with personal loans, bank loans. You may be able to do some of those things for your credit. So protect your credit at this time as well. Student loans, call those people up. Those people are absolutely sympathetic to what's going on right now. Call them up. Maybe you get a deferment. Maybe there's something special that they are doing that we just don't know about right now. So call your creditors. Do not hide from them at this point at all. Make sure you do those things. Also, PayPal. PayPal credit is even because of the shutdown. If you're impacted by the shutdown, they're offering like one-time 0% APR on cash advances. So if you've got like an account with them or something of that nature, then you can get a 0% APR on a cash advance. Now, you all know if you got a credit card, how much they charge you for cash advances. PayPal, if you've got credit with them, a PayPal credit, whatever it is, then that's what they're doing for you. So like I said, all kinds of companies are trying to help limit the impact that it might have on you financially. You can also even call PayPal, 877-689-1975, 877-689-1975. You can give them a call as well and talk to them about if you need a little bit extra cash at 0% interest rate. Some of your credit scores are not up to par where you can get a 0% interest rate anywhere, and they're trying to help you out. So you guys make sure you do that. All right, so let's do the question of the day right quick. So the question of the day actually came up 3 or 4 times this week. For whatever reason, it's the beginning of the year. I guess collection agencies are, getting on the ball and trying to collect all they can because it's the beginning of the year, new goals and all that kind of stuff. But it came up a few times this week. I'm going to give this credit to Cheryl. So Cheryl, I do not know where Cheryl is from. So you know what I like to do? I like to pick a place. So I'm going to say she's from Arizona, just because I think that it's probably warm there and it's not where I am. So this question is from Cheryl. She sent me an email. You can email me too, 800@creditscoreman.com. That's 800@creditscoreman.com. You can email me your questions as well. I will answer you. I promise I will answer you back, and then you might be part of the show as well. So Cheryl's question was what to do when a collection agency comes calling years later. What are you supposed to do when they come calling years later? Well, one of the first things you do is to never admit to the debt. That's number one. You never admit to the debt. Now, you can actually say, I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know this company, or I never had an account with them. I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you say it's mine, send me proof. That's the second thing you want to do. So first thing, do not admit to debt. The second thing you do is say, then send me proof that it's mine, then send it to me. Now, if they don't have your current information, if they don't have your current home address, don't give them your stuff. Do not give them your home address if they don't have it. Now, you can ask them to verify it, and if they say your actual address, or if they give an old address, then just too bad for them. Now, if you really want to be diligent about it, you can give them an email address. I mean, everybody has a email address. A lot of people have several email addresses. I have one, two, three, four. I have about 5 email addresses, and that's probably being conservative. I got about 5 email addresses. So send them to one of your email addresses. Tell them to email it to you. Proof that this is supposed to be yours. That's what you want to do. So never admit to anything. Then you want to ask for proof. Especially if you really kind of know that it might be yours, you want to ask for proof that it's yours. Now, in this particular case with Cheryl, this account was from 2005. 2005, and it wasn't a bunch of money, less than $100 for a cell phone bill. Now, the reason Cheryl knows that it's not that it was from 2005 because she hasn't had an account with this particular cell phone company since 2005. She switched to somebody else. She got a new number. She's had that number since 2005. So absolutely, it can't be any sooner than 2005. So then this means, so I was telling Cheryl, I'm pretty positive that the statute of limitations for them to collect on you is gone. I mean, it's 2019, people. So it's 14 years ago. The statute of limitations most likely, and it differs by state, and all you have to do is Google statute of limitations, and all the states will come up, and it'll tell you. It'll even tell you like different kinds of debt might have different years that they can collect on you. But I'm pretty sure a cell phone bill from 2005 is past the statute of limitations. That's the one thing that I told her. So don't worry about it in that regard because it's past the statute of limitations, and I didn't even bother to look it up. I just know 14 years is a long time. A lot of places are 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, and 12 years. That's a long time, 14 years. Then, statute of limitations, but then not only statute of limitations, if you're only concerned with, and this is the reason you listen to the 800 Credit Score Man show, is your credit score. They only have 7 years for this to be on your credit report. So if it's not on your credit report now, unless you start talking to them and giving them information and promising to pay or saying, I think I can get you something in a month or something of that nature, then it can't go on your credit report. They only have 7 years. Even though the statute of limitations could be 8 years, 9 years, 15 years, as far as the Credit Bureau is concerned, as far as the Fair Credit Reporting Act is concerned, 7 years is the limit. That's the limit. That's all they have to put it on your credit report. So if it wasn't on your credit report between 2005 and 2012, maybe 2013 for Cheryl, then it can't go on your credit report. So you don't have to worry about it impacting your credit score unless you agree to make a payment or you agree to pay it and then you don't. Then they possibly can use that against you and place it on your credit report. So you want to make sure that you don't admit to anything and that you try to get them to verify the debt. Now, since it's so old, so old, my recommendation to Cheryl was to ignore them. Ignore them altogether. There's absolutely nothing they can do to you because it's well past the statute of limitations. It's well past the time for it to go on your credit report. There's absolutely nothing they can do to you except for keep calling you if they want to or send you letters or whatever. But there's nothing they can do to you to get that money out of you at all. They can't garnish your wages. They can't put it on your credit report. They can't do any of those things. You can't get a judgment against you, any of those things at all because it's so old. And then, just to kind of make it a little more complicated, after she actually initially spoke to them, then they had the original, supposedly the original creditor happened to call her talking about this particular debt or contact her. I don't know if they called her. I don't remember if they called or sent her an email or whatever, but they contacted her, or I think she got a letter about this debt. Just so happened. Now, it's been 14 years, and I ain't heard from you, but then all of a sudden now here you are contacting me yet again. That seems a little fishy. It seems a little scammy to me. And yes, scammy. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm making it a word. Scammy. That seems scammy to me, so I wouldn't trust it with a 10-foot pole. Now, this particular cell phone company is a very popular company. Everybody knows who they are. They've got an 800 number if you want to. And this was a piece of advice to Cheryl. If you want to, if you really want to look into this, and like I said, it wasn't a big collection. It's not one of those $800 bills. It was a small collection from them. If you want to, you can call that particular company up. Don't use the number that they sent you in the letter or the email. Call a number for that particular company. Google them. You just have an account with them. Call that number. Drop into one of their stores and ask them about this because, like I said, it seems a little scammy to me. So those are the kinds of things you want to do when you have a collection agency that comes calling on you years later. Go ahead. If it's after 7 years, just know it cannot impact your credit score unless you make some admission and say that yes, it's yours, and or a promise to pay or something of that nature. It can't go on your credit report. Then always go check the statute of limitations. Really, some of these things could be like 5 years, even though it can quote unquote stay on your credit report tips for 7 years, or it could be 12 years or 10 years, something of that nature, where they can actually collect on you. But if you're trying to protect yourself and not trying to pay, this old debt or what have you, then you need to start doing those things. Don't admit to anything. You can ignore them. Ask for verification of your debt, and don't give them any information. If they don't have your social security number, tough. They don't have your birthday, tough. They don't have your address, your physical address, tough. Too bad for them. Don't give them any of that information because they should have it. If it's yours, they should have it, right? All right, then. So, look, Cheryl, thank you so very much. I appreciate you for contacting me. You are officially a part of the 800 Credit Scoring Man Show family. You guys can become a part of the family as well. Email me your questions, 800@creditscoreman.com. Catch me on Facebook and Instagram as 800 Credit Score Man. You can catch me on Twitter at @creditscore_man. I always follow back on Twitter. The other ones, who knows? But I always follow back on Twitter, and join the Facebook group, Credit Score Comeback. Join that Facebook group as well. That's my group. We talk about all kind of stuff dealing with credit all during the week. Questions from people, answers from people, articles being posted, all those kinds of things. You can always catch them there. So get on one of those and follow me there, all right? Okay. So let's jump back into this Tradelines or authorized users. Let me give these shout outs to Clarence Wells, one of my frat brothers. He celebrated their birthday. So happy birthday to you, Clarence. Lakia DeRusso, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She celebrated her birthday as well. Lakia DeRusso, she celebrated her birthday. Oh, and I got to give this shout out. Alexis Bryant, I call her Lexi. The family calls her Lexi. This is one of my cousins. She graduated high school early, you guys. So she graduated in December, and she's already in college, already doing her thing in college. So I want to say congratulations on your graduation. Keep going, keep achieving, doing your thing, Lexi. I'm so proud of you, your mom and dad. I'm sure they're proud of you as well. All right, so authorized user. So we talked about these trade lines, told you how much I disliked them. And I told you trade lines were temporary. Now, authorized users can be temporary as well. You can be added as an authorized user, and you can take that off anytime you want to. Anytime you want to. And an authorized user, here's what you really want in an authorized user. Whatever your length of history is. So if you're looking at Credit Karma, they call it credit age. Your length of history, your average length of history. If yours is, say, it's 4 years, you would like for the authorized user that this particular account, which is a credit card that you're being added upon, you would like for it to be older than your current time. So if you're at 4 years as a credit age, then you want this account to be older than that. Ideally, I'm saying 7 to 10 years. It should be, that account has been open for that long. That account should never have had a late payment. I know the further you get away from, the time frame, if it's a late payment 5 years ago or 7 years ago, doesn't impact your score as much. But this account that you're being added to, simply to help your credit, you don't want it to ever have had a late payment. You don't want that. Ideally, you would like for this account to have a low credit utilization, meaning if you've got $10,000 worth of debt or worth of limits on there, you want them to have, say $2,500 as far as a balance is concerned. You would like that. Ideally, that's good. That's a 25% utilization. You always want to be under 30%, but that's pretty good. Now, it's okay if it's higher than 30%. It's okay. It's all right if it is. 50% is okay. 60% of the limit is okay. You don't want 80. You don't want 90. You don't want 99% of it, of the utilization of the limit used. You don't want that. That's going to be